than 11 bucks for 1 ear of corn, $23 for a loaf of bread, $45 for orange juice, and $15.50 for a chocolate bar. Well, our next guest says we will be seeing prices like this in the very near future. And brace yourself, because of food inflation, this holiday season will be the worst in American history. Gerard Adams is president of the National Inflation Association. Gerard, welcome to you. So we all know the macro picture with the Fed and quantitative easing, flooding dollars into the system, more dollars equal higher inflation. But you are saying food inflation will take over next year as our biggest crisis, more so than the mortgage mess, unemployment. Why is that, and why aren't more people as concerned as you are?
I think people do need to get educated. I think that food inflation should be their #1 concern right now. Commodities, agricultural commodities have really taken off more than anything else in the past couple months. And I think that come next year, it's going to get much worse.
But so far, corporations have not passed on those higher food prices, in a large part, to the consumer. But is there going to be a floodgate? What's the catalyst going to be that automatically comes upon our shoulders as consumers and food buyers?
Well, I think it's starting to happen right now. Dean Foods actually just came out recently announcing that their net income has dropped by 51% because of the rising cost of their butterfat, which they use for ice cream and milk. And sooner or later, these companies are going to have to take on these costs.
But you're talking about searing inflation here, $11.43 for 1 ear of corn. That's a huge differentiation for what we're paying right now. So there's got to be something major that a lot of economists are missing. We talk about core inflation, right? The Federal Reserve says core inflation is pretty limited, but when you put in the volatile food and energy component, then it gets scary. But, I mean, you're talking about prices going up for the holiday season. That could cause a run on the grocery store, so let's be really careful here. So what's the difference? What's the disconnect?
I think it's really going to get bad for the holiday season, but I think it's going to get even worse coming into next year. The fact of the matter is that the last time we had an inflationary crisis was in the 1970s, and we just calculated the fact that taking the prices that it went to in the 1970s and compared it to what the real rate of inflation is around today's dollars, and that's where we got a lot of our projections. And
$23 for a 24-ounce loaf of wheat bread. It's astronomical. $77 for an 11-ounce container of Folgers coffee. Give me a snapshot. Give me a better understanding of how you do your research.
Well, basically, I think actually those prices can happen within the next decade, but they can even happen even sooner, in my opinion. If what we did was, like I told you, we just took the prices the last time we had an inflationary crisis, which was in the 1970s. I feel like...
You're watching The Madness of a Lost Society. November 26, 2010, Black Friday revealed yet further evidence of the complete madness of the populace of our lost society.
In case you didn't hear, the leaders of China and Russia.
China and Russia said that they are renouncing the dollar.
The best way to think of it is a ticking time bomb. At some stage, the dollar will fall sharply.
Now, you might be saying, Neil, what the heck does this mean to me?
As the dollar loses status as the world's reserve currency, as mystery missiles launch just off our shores, as North and South Korea take the world to the brink of war, as the TSA violates all measure of liberty and constitutional rights, and as the U.S. military itself prepares for the coming total economic collapse and breakdown of civil order, this is what Americans care about. Wanton, lustful commercialism, acting like animals fighting over trinkets made by human beings for slave wages. As you watch this horrific video, do you think any of these people own a single ounce of physical precious metal? Any gold? Any silver? Do you think that even one of them understands what the Federal Reserve is, or that the Fed is spending them into oblivion and economic slavery? Do you think even one among them has made any preparations at all for the day when there is no food on grocery store shelves? And do you think the morally bankrupt executives at Target or Walmart even care? This is what we've become. A decadent, mindless culture who by virtue of this complete and willful ignorance are now officially complicit in the crimes being perpetrated against us. Do you think these people who behave like animals, literally trampling each other over $198 laptops and $10 toasters, will even pause for a moment to consider their actions before they riot and burn entire cities when the days of hyperinflation finally arrive? When the grocery stores are bare? When they are truly desperate? This, my friends, is what a dumbed-down, morally bankrupt, completely broken society looks like, and this is how it behaves. No outrage over the bankers raping them. No outrage over their gutted industry. No outrage over their plundered dollar. Just blind, wanton stupidity. Just bread and circuses. The elite are social Darwinists, and they believe what they can get away with is fair game as long as we allow it. This is social engineering, and they've done it to us by design. They've turned us into animals that they can corral. We are no longer citizens in a republic safeguarded by our elected representatives. We are consumers feeding at a corporate trough managed by officials.
Will you tell the American people to whom you lent $2.2 trillion of their dollars?
Hundreds and hundreds of banks, any bank that has access to the U.S. Federal Reserve's discount.
Tell us who they are.
No.
If this is America, who will stop them? Our entire system is corrupt and needs to be dismantled and begun anew. But from what base? If what happened on Friday across America is any indication of the condition of the American populace, then our very foundations are built of sand. May God forgive us for what we've become and for what we've allowed to happen to our nation. And may those of us with the courage and sense to do it renounce this behavior and the monstrous marketing ploy that is Black Friday in its entirety. This, my friends, is not us. We are the Republic. We are the informed. We are the proactive ones. And it is our job to lift up those who are lost. And saving our Republic is a full-time job. May God bless the Republic. Thanks for watching The Madness of a Lost Society.